What up, guys? Guess everybody's here now.
What's going on, bro?
How we doing, brother?
Good, good. And yourselves?
Another day in paradise.
Hear that? So, today's video is gonna be with Tommy, and this video is gonna actually show you when is the best times to call, or what kind of leads to call. So you might want to write down a lot of notes on this video. Second here. You guys can see it?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
A couple of things on the board for us today. There we go. By the end of this thing, a couple of years of this, I'm going to be a professional like videographer, you know.
Yeah, totally.
I can go on the news, get it all set up. I'm like setting cameras up, setting microphones up, lighting.
You could be a director.
Yes, exactly. I could yell cut.
Yeah.
When I have this board behind me, I just like to make sure that it's somewhat, at least, symmetrical, you know. All right, that'll work.
Yeah, it looks pretty good to me.
All right, great. We got a couple good markers, and I'm gonna just go with this off for now, and I think we should be able to still see the board okay if I need to dive into it, right? All right, so what I want to do is I want to do just a recap for us of the first week real quick, just touching on it. It could be 5 minutes or 50 minutes, depends on how many questions you guys really have on anything. So the first day, we spent going over the history of the agency a little bit and making sure that we went over understanding the opportunity from the pure numbers standpoint, just so you understand how the career track works with the contracts and, you know, if you work to get promoted into management and leadership, you know, how that all works. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, we spent the time doing that very first day. Somebody sat down and explained that to me. And based upon the way that they explained it to me, I was able to, you know, navigate through my career a lot faster, more efficiently, just because I understood it a little bit, but I wasn't going in blind, right? So that's what we did day one. Day two, you guys should have spent time with Casey and went over the importance of activity. You know, there's a certain amount of phone calls you need to make. There's a certain amount of sit downs that you need to generate on a weekly basis. The importance of referrals on that activity, how you can generate more activity through referrals. That's what you should have went over on Tuesday, right? So just stopping there. Do you guys have any questions, comments, or anything around day one, day two? Any questions about any of your notes? You know, now that you maybe start applying it a little bit from your first 2 days of notes that you guys see, because you could ask them. I could try and, you know, get some of those questions answered for you.
I didn't have any questions. Phil, did you have any?
No, not so far. It's just chugging along.
All right, good. We got Mason and Alex is here.
What's up, guys?
Guys. No. Okay. All right. Pretty straightforward stuff so far. So if I could just reiterate a couple things then, is just understanding, that when we make phone calls, first of all, the phones, you got to learn how to handle the phones. The phones, it's just, it's a different animal, so you got to understand how to handle the phones. The phones is a pure numbers game. It's a pure numbers game. The way we can increase and get better numbers throughout our whole entire sales process from the beginning, when you make that phone call, when you talk to that person, when you book that person, then you got to see that person, you got to present to that person, and then you got to sell, and then they got to enroll at a certain rate, and I got to give you referrals, right? So that whole process, you can tighten it up and you can increase the percentages of like, man, instead of me making 20 phone calls, or what is it? 15 phone calls to get one talk to, right? What if I can make 5 phone calls to get a talk to? That would be better, wouldn't it? And then every time I talk to somebody, what if I had to talk to 3 people in order to book one? Wouldn't it be better if I could talk to 2 people and book one?
Mhm.
Wouldn't it? So what we have to do is find ways throughout this whole entire process to get sharper and sharper and sharper and increase our percentages and chances of success. So after you talk to somebody, then you want to book them, right? So let's say you increase that ratio. Now, after you book them, guess what you have to do? You have to get them to show up for that presentation, right? Well, if it takes you 3 people to get one presentation, you have to schedule 3 presentations to get one of them to show. Think how much more work you're gonna have to do, because it only takes me 2 presentations to get one to show. You're doing 50% more work to get that same activity. Now, when you get someone to show, and there's certain tactics, techniques, systems, procedures, processes, all of those that go into having a higher show ratio versus having a lower show ratio. Some people may either not know what to do, maybe not do it the right way. They're doing the wrong things. They're doing the wrong things the wrong way. And that's why you're going to have a low show ratio. But if you can find out the people that have a high show ratio, what are they all doing? Okay, I noticed that this person does like X, Y, and Z. He does. There's 12 things that they do, and every time they book an appointment. And I noticed they do all those 12 things every time. But they also have the highest show ratio. You know what I would do? I would go get those 12 things, write them down, and make sure that I check them off every time I set an appointment as well, So the key is there's certain things that you can do and that you should do that are gonna get you, for sure, it's pretty much proven that if you do this, you're gonna get this result. And if you don't do that, you're gonna get that result. And if you do this, then you get that result. So we wanna find out what are those certain things that we need to do and be disciplined, to the very detail of those things. You can't just say, oh, I did it, but you did it sloppy. You didn't do it like the other person did it. You have to do it the detailed way. So anyways, that's what we're going to continue to work on. Every time we do this, you're going to get more detailed, more detailed, more detailed, more detailed. At first, you're just trying to tackle somebody when you're playing football. You're just trying to just tackle them. You don't care. Just get them onto the ground, grab them by the leg, by their whatever. But the more that you do it, the more you're able to see it happen, and the more you're able to actually do, plan it out, do the proper, you teach it for, like boxing. If you went into a fight, you never knew box before, you would just be trying to throw a punch. But after you do it for a while, now you're getting more detailed with your punches, right? You're starting to think of how your hips turn in, where your footing is, where your head placement is. A lot of different things come into play when you start thinking the details of it. And then you could think of how detailed do you think Floyd Mayweather is versus an 18-year-old, rookie? That's what happens in the business too, is you're going to get more detailed because you're just going to do it more. You're going to see things coming way before they come, You're not even going to have to think. Like a boxer don't have to think. They don't even have to think. It's just like a natural reaction. That's how you're going to be with your presentation. and you're going to see like a great boxer can see the punch coming a mile away. They can see these like, oh, he's lining up a combo, and they already know it. You're going to know what the client's saying. You're going to be sitting there like, all right, I heard this one I heard this yesterday. I heard it earlier this morning. We heard it in training class. Well, you're telling me right now, I heard it a million times. So I'll listen to it, and you're going to listen to whatever they say because you don't want to cut them off. Let them say whatever they want to say. Let them get it off their chest. And then you just completely just come back with them with the trained rebuttal that we taught us how to handle, and we flip someone who, doesn't want something into someone to get something. So the point of it is we're going to have to find, over time, ways to get a better show ratio. And when you see people, you want to have a better closing ratio. And when you close people, you don't want to have a low ALP per sale. You want to have a higher ALP per sale. So the longer that you're here, the better you're going to get at lining up higher ALP per sale. Gio didn't always close at 2,200 ALP per sale. He didn't. When he started out, he could barely close a sale. Then he started closing sales, but they were average, 600, 700, 800 ALP, maybe 1,000. But over time, because of focusing on being disciplined to the details, if he walks in, if Gio makes a sale, it's $150 check minimum. Like I think he's typically like shows them 400, 300, 200 a month. Those are option A, B, and C. So if here's your three options, you got $100 a week, $75 a week, or $50 a week. I'm not even sure if you can even qualify for this program. So I need to make sure you can even qualify first while you think about what's best for your family. And then you take it away from them. And then you start filling out the application. So the ALP per sale. And then what's after that is referrals per sale. The referrals per sale. And the more you're here, the longer that you're here, the more referrals per sale you get. Do you see how it can just literally, when you increase every percentage a little bit along the way, it adds up to be a big percentage at the end. So the numbers, let me go over average numbers. It takes average right now, 30, I believe 30. Yeah, it's 15 and 30. So it takes about 15 calls to get one talk to. Okay. And it takes 2 talk tos to get one set. So let me put it on the board a little bit better. So first you have to make what? A call. Then you have to get what? A talk to. So it's going to take us 30 calls. It'll get us 2 talk tos. 2 talk tos will get you one set. So if you know that you need to have at least 20 set a week, then you're going to need to talk to how many people? 40 people, right? In order to talk to 40 people, 30 times 1, you'd have to make what? How many calls? That's 600? Does that seem right? $600 calls will get you 20 appointments set. Does this make sense? My math right? You guys want to check it real quick? Pretty good? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right, good. So 600 calls. We have people this week, they put up over 1,000. People put up over 1,000. So is it going to be easy? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be handed to you. You're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to make the calls. We got to make the calls. So that what we have to do now is have to figure out when can we get this done? Let's put it in our schedule. So how many hours, how many phone calls per hour can you make? No, average, on average. You're calling all week. How many phone calls per hour did you get this week? 40 phone calls per hour? 100 per hour? So the average, okay, it could be 30 to 40. So I like to use 25 just to make sure, just to under promise, guys, right? So if you can make 25 calls in 1 hour, which you should be able to make more, but if you make 25 calls in an hour, then we would take 600 calls and divide that by 25. And that'll tell us how many hours that we need to call. So 600
24.
divided by 25 is
24.
24 hours. So we need to call for 24 hours. Okay. Now, when can we do this? We got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, we can call from 4 till 9. That's always been the best time for us to call American Income. Monday, 4 to 9, that's prime time. That's when we get it in. That's when we call. Now, you can also call earlier in the day, though. Have all morning, all afternoon to get some extra calls in on a Monday. But so far, we're at 5 hours. Thursday, we typically call 4 till 9. That puts us another 5 hours in. So we're already 10 down. Now, on Tuesday and Friday, Monday night, we called Monday night. Okay. But we still have, we have all day Tuesday and Wednesday to go see clients. So what we do in the morning is we get more appointments booked and we designate time in our schedule to make morning phone calls, because if we never call in the morning at all, you got these leads, you got these people, they were filled out these requests, you know, you're trying to get in touch with them. If you don't call them in the morning, there's certain people in that lead pack that are just never going to answer their phone, because that's pretty much like the only time that they're even available. Because during the day, they're working, she's working the night shift, he's coaching, he got to take the kids over here, he's going to visit his mom's sick, right? If you want to catch these people, you're going to have to call in the morning, or there's going to be, just chalk it up that 10 or 20% of your lead pack, you're just never going to call and never going to see if you don't call them in the morning. So you have to say, well, if I know I need to call in the morning, then when is that going to be? When's it going to be? Put it in your schedule. So for us, I'll give you recommendation, right? Recommendation for me, Tuesday morning from 8 until 10, and Friday morning from 8 until 10 is a prime time to get that in. Prime time to get it in.
Is there attendance too early?
What's that?
Is there ever attendance too early?
Yeah, so time that's too early. You really don't want to call before 8 and after 9.
Like a lot of union members start work early, especially construction, they go to work at 7 in the morning.
Yeah, we can't call at 7. Yeah, you get in trouble. Unless the guy told you, you know, obviously call me at 7, that's a different story. But yeah, 8 until 9 is the prime. So we got 13 hours a day. 13 hours a day, it's wide open for us to call. So these are I'm just giving you like the key ones that I would just book in, like make this part of my system. Because what's going to happen Monday is you're going to call and you're going to find out that there's still gaps in your schedule for Tuesday. You might have some gaps in your schedule for Wednesday. So Tuesday morning, you could fill the rest of your gaps for Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Same day sets are the best. So the problem with calling Mondays is you only have one opportunity to get a same day presentation, which I would give a 9 p.m. presentation on Monday, and you could give a 9 p.m. presentation on Thursday. So when I'm calling Monday, I'm calling to book Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm also calling to, and especially if you can get a referral, the chances of you making a sale are going to be through the roof. Same day set appointments, the show ratio is really high, the closing ratio is really high. And then prime time appointments for us, if you book somebody at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, closing ratio is really high. And if it's a referral, closing ratio is really high. So if you think about it, if you meet with somebody, if you call them on Monday, it's a referral, you call the referral Monday, you book them for Monday night at 9 o'clock, right? The chances of you making a sale that day just went through the roof. And your week didn't even start yet. It's still Monday night. Everybody else is going out Tuesday hoping they're going to get a sale. You already got a sale Monday night. What were you doing at 9 o'clock on Monday night anyways? Like seriously, like what the heck could you possibly be doing on Monday night at 9 o'clock? If you're at this office, you're probably getting your stuff, packing it up and just driving on home and you're going to go to bed. So why not stick around for an extra hour, make $1,000 real quick and get one of your presentations out of the way for the week, you know, and top off your call night and get a bunch of momentum going into the week. So I would go the extra mile on Mondays now, which I never had the ability to do this. I would do this if I didn't have the ability to do this. I had to be in call night on Monday nights. So Monday night, call night ends at 9. Thursday night, call night ends at 9. Guess what I have Thursday night lined up? PM. Got a 9 p.m. lined up for Thursday night, call night, right? Everybody's going to get beers. You're out here, get your deal built. The other times when we could call, how many hours is this now? We just added 2 on Friday, 2 on Tuesday, 8 till 10 a.m., 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. on Tuesday, 8 till 10 on Friday. So we're going to add another 4, right? So now we're at 14 hours for the week. So we need to call for another 5. Well, Wednesday afternoon from like 11 till 1 is a prime time situation to call. Well, so Wednesday 11 till 1, add another 2 on there, puts us at 16 hours. And then on Monday and Thursday, you'll notice that people come up here and make phone calls in the mornings on Monday and Thursday. And a lot of them will call like right around 11, 12, they'll call through lunch. So what usually a lot of people do is they'll give themselves 2 or 3 hours of call time here on a Monday. So they'll put 2 here, 2 here on a Thursday afternoon. They'll come in before phones, make some phone calls. They'll call in the morning. So you can get phone calls, 2 hours of phone calls in the mornings here. You have all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, all day Friday, and all day Saturday, okay? You're going to be in the field all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, all day Friday, all day Saturday. You're going to have appointments lined up. So you might have one at 2 o'clock, one at 4 o'clock, one at 6 o'clock, one at 8 o'clock, one at 9 o'clock. You might got, an extra one. You got 2 booked at 4 or something. So you got 6, 7, 8 appointments on your schedule for the day. Well, you go through your day and the 2 o'clock ends up not being there. And your next appointment's not till 4 o'clock. So what do you think you should do? Make some calls, right? So what you do each day is you want to be able to put in 50 to 100 calls a day during the field. So when you're out there in the field, this ain't counting in the morning. This is when you're out there in the field, you put in 50 to 100 phone calls a day. They would say 100 a day. 100 a day will keep the bill collectors away. That's what they say. They say 100 a day, keep the bill collectors away. You put up 100 phone calls a day. When you're in the field, figure a way, make it happen, chalk it up, add the numbers up, have one of those things where you count your phone calls, in your car or in your office or something where you can count them out. But yeah, so by putting up 50 to 100 phone calls when you're out in the field, that's going to take about 2 to 4 hours in the field during the day. So while you're out in the field, you should, even if you just do 2 hours per day, that's another 8 hours of calls. 8 hours on top of the what? 16 equals what? 24. And that's what we needed to have, was 24 hours. So this for me was how I would figure out how to make sure that I got my phone calls in, right? So this is basically on a Monday, getting 2 hours of calls in before phone session starts. This is doing a good phone session on Monday night, 4 to 9, running a good phone session for yourself, focusing, calling, hitting your numbers, dialing, being positive, smiling when you're dialing, being coachable, putting it in, letting it all lay out there. Go. And when you start working out, it's kind of sucks. You're sore. You don't see no results at all. You're tired. None of it makes sense, really. Some of the movements, you're not used to it. That's what it's going to be. Phone sessions aren't going to be like a normal, after you start going to the gym, you get the momentum going. Come in 2 months, phone sessions for you, you're going to be humming. You're going to be flowing. You're going to be going right through these phone sessions. You're going to be cutting them down real nice. But right now, it's going to be new to you, right? So we got to get used to running a good phone session. It's 5 hours, man. It's 5 hours. And this is where you make all your money. You guys know you make all your money on Monday night, and then you go just pick up your checks on Tuesday and Wednesday when you go see your clients. Thursday, you're going to set up your appointments for Friday, Saturday. Basically, you're making all your money. Because if you don't have any appointments, what are you going to do? If you don't have no appointments Friday, if you don't have no appointments Saturday, are you making any money? No. So when are you making your money? You're making your money on the phones, guys. You are making your money on the phones. That's where all the money's made. So this can't just be going through the motions. Oh, it's just another phone night. You got to get hyped for phone night. Anytime you get the chance to make a phone call, you got to get hyped for the phone call, because that's where the real money is made. When you go out and see the clients, you're going to give a presentation. You're going to have the same best presentation you always give. 1 out of 3 of them are going to enroll. Average ALP is going to be about 900 to 1,000 ALP per sale that you get. So we always would say that you make your money on call night and you just go pick up the checks over the weekend. You just go pick up the checks from your clients when you go see them. So Monday, good phone session Monday night. Hey, and you top it off, put a cherry on top, and you run a presentation at 9 o'clock at night. You caught the guy on the phone. Hey, actually, I can get you and your wife squared away today. I'm actually pretty booked up, but I can get you caught up here around 9 o'clock tonight. I'll send you over a Zoom link. How's around 9:15 work for you and your wife? Okay, perfect. I'll send you a Zoom link. You click on it. Let me know if it works. Okay, great. Tell your wife, I'll see you guys then. Look forward to getting caught up with you. Boom. You got them lined up for 9 o'clock the same day. Same day. And then you get to hop on a screen with them. They weren't expecting you to get on the screen. Then they get all excited, right? It's lights, camera, action. Now you get to put on a show for them. Instead of them watching Dancing with the Stars on Monday night or some depressing news or something, they get to watch you for an hour. So anyways, from 9 to 10, knock that out, man. Why not? If they don't watch you on there, they're going to go in their living room and put on something. They're going to go in their living room and put on something. So that's my philosophy on that. Same thing every night of the week. Every night of the week, I'd rather them watch me than whatever the heck they were going to be watching. So Tuesday morning, I just made calls Monday night. So we call Tuesday morning YAC. You guys know what YAC is? In football, YAC is YAC. YAC. In football, if you're a running back, they call it yards after contact. So if I'm running down the field and I get hit and I just fall over, then guess how many yards after contact I have? None, right? But the running back for the Titans, what's his name? Henry. He has a high YAC because when he gets hit, he just keeps on moving. He gets another 7 yards after contact, right? That's a running back. Now, a receiver, they also do a YAC for a receiver. You know what they call YAC for a receiver? yards after catch. Some receivers catch the ball and fall right on the ground. And guess how many yards after catch that is? None, right? Some receivers catch the ball and they keep it moving, right? I thought the receiver for the Chiefs, what's his name? Tyreek Hill. I thought he would be like high on the list. We checked it last time I talked about this, and he wasn't. Actually, I was surprised. But like you would think a guy like Tyreek Hill, he catches the ball, and after he catches the ball, he goes 40 yards down the field. You can't even touch the guy, right? He keeps it moving. He don't just catch the ball and fall over. So some people in his business, you won't believe it, but they'll only show up for call night, and they'll only call during call night, and then they don't do nothing else, right? They don't go for that. We call this your appointments after call night. That's yak. You want to know what yak is? Y is your, and then A is appointments after call night. Yak. So how many appointments do you add after call night? Or do you just call till 9 o'clock on Monday and only run those appointments on Tuesday, Wednesday? Do you add more appointments after call night? And that's what you do Tuesday morning from 8 until 10. You get some yak, the yak attack. You get extra appointments in. Tuesday afternoon, you get no-showed for an appointment, or they have to reschedule with you. You have a gap in your schedule for one reason or another. You got an hour or two free. Let's get some more appointments. Wednesday afternoon is great. 11 to 1. Smack dab right in the middle of the week. Right in the middle of the week, right in the middle of the day. Right? Most people working from what, 8 until 5, 9 until 5, 7 until 3, right? So what's right in the middle of that day for them is 11 to 1. And that's right in the middle of their week. So you hit them, boom, right in the middle of the week. For some reason, I don't know why, but it works. So you could call Wednesday and get more appointments set for Wednesday night, and also get a head start on your weekend. Okay? So anyways, we execute this plan. Thursday, Wednesday, you're in the field making phone calls. Thursday, we have phone session, hit at 9 o'clock. Friday, call from 8 until 10. And then Friday and Saturday, when you're out in the field, maybe 2 hours of calling during your free time. Since we don't have to drive now to appointments as well, you're definitely going to have some more time. Before, it was tough for me to hit these calls, guys. It was hard because I had to drive from one appointment to another and try and make phone calls in between. Like while I'm driving, I'm like looking at a GPS. I've never been in this side of the town before. Driving by the house 3 times. I missed an exit. I can't tell you how many. I got pulled over. A cop thought out. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm lost, officer. I got the schedule. I'm trying to call these appointments, so you don't have to deal with that. Flat tires, snow, all the stuff that has to go into that. The money, how much money you think I had to put in gas? Okay. So does this make any sense? Making some sense? I kind of want to just bring some light to, really what goes into it and put some fundamentals behind it, put some numbers behind it, make some sense of it a little bit. Now that's when we're going to get these calls in. But if you're putting 24 hours, now you got to give 10 presentations, guys. 10 presentations. How long is it going to take to give 10 presentations? Well, how about this? If you give 10 presentations, how many are typically going to enroll? 4? Okay, let's say 4 enroll. Each one enrolls, takes you an hour and a half to fill out the paperwork and everything. So you're looking at 6 hours of presenting right there, right? For the clients that don't enroll, how long are you going to present to them? The clients that don't enroll on average, maybe an hour. Okay, so you got 6 left. 4 of them said yes. It took you an hour and a half each. That's 6 hours. 6 of them said no. They took you 1 hour each. So it took you 6 hours. So that's a total of what? 12 hours of presenting. 12 hours of presenting. Let's just add 3 hours in there for preparation, and I don't even know what else, okay? We're just adding 3 hours to say it took you an extra 3 hours to do all these presentations for some reason, okay? That makes us 15. So we know we have to put 24 in on the calls and 15 in on the presenting. That's 39 hours for the week, right? 39 hours for the week. Done right. Executed skillfully like a professional. Now, you can't say I want to get professional results, but you don't want to do what professionals do, and professionals do what professionals do. So you got to figure that out. There's like 70 million things that they do. You got to get them all right. You know, they work hard, they show up late, you know, professionals, they put in the preparation to become a professional. You know, if you read a book, Malcolm Gladwell, but what's Malcolm Gladwell say? If you want to become a professional at something, it takes you 10,000 hours of doing something to become a professional, right? So you can't even expect and say, how come I'm not getting professional results? Well, because you're not executing like a professional, because you haven't prepared like a professional, because you didn't put 10,000 hours in yet. That's all. So let's just understand it's not going to happen in a day. I can't make you a professional at this business in a day, but we can do this daily. But you have to understand it does take time. And mathematics is the path is what? How many times did I say it this week already? The path is all what? Oh my goodness. The path is all what?
The path is through the obstacle.
The path is all math. You guys. The numbers. No, it rhymes. It even rhymes. How'd you guys forget? I made it rhyme all nice and nice for us. The path is all math. What did we just go over? What do you think we just went over? Was that math? We just went over math. I've been going over math this whole time. Phil, he hates math. He wants me to call him and go over a private math session.
I don't mind math.
I would do math with you guys on Monday too, didn't I? It was a lot of numbers, but I swear I'm very numbers driven, and it's all math though. It really is. And if you can understand that, you can just figure it out a lot easier, you know? So, what the heck were we just saying? Professional. Oh, so here's what a professional is. A professional is 10,000 hours. How long is it going to take you to get 10,000 hours in at something, right? Think about that. You only got so many hours in a week. So here's what I figured. I said, if you do 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week times 50 weeks is how many hours? That's 2,000 hours in a year. So if you do 40 hours a week and you do that for 50 weeks, you just did 2,000 hours. And you need how many to be a professional? 10. So how many years would it take? 5. Make sense? It would take you 5 years. So 5 years from now, you can say, oh, I'm a professional. Start paying me like a professional gets paid. But what are you professional at? That's the thing. Like, you could be a professional in this business, and then you're going to get paid what professional people get paid in this business. You can also go be a professional baker, right? A professional baker doesn't make the same as a professional sports car driver, and doesn't make the same as a professional doctor, doesn't make the same as a professional baseball player. You got to choose your profession, right? And then you can't get mad that the professional insurance agent is making more than the professional dentist. You just can't get mad. You chose to be the dentist. We chose to do insurance. They put 10,000 hours in there, they make 180,000. You put 10,000 hours in here, you make $250,000. Right? You can't get mad if you, but I'm a professional. Yeah, you're a professional baker. You know? So the whole point of it is what can we do to speed this up? That was what I was like, I don't want to wait 5 years. I said, well, what if I do, check this out. This is crazy. What if I do what I've always done, which is work my ass off? Because when my nana came to this country on an arranged marriage and she didn't know who she was marrying. She just came over on a boat to marry Joe Vina. She only brought 2 things with her. She had 2 suitcases. You guys know that? It's crazy. Imagine getting sent over to a country to marry a person you never met before because there was no opportunity. They're like, all right, things are pretty bad over here. In order for our chances of survival, in order to have an opportunity, we're going to have to send our youngest daughter over to America and marry this random person and hope it works out. And then maybe we can get our family out of here and get some better opportunity, because there was no opportunity where they were at. So they came to America to have what? Opportunity. Now I have a fucking opportunity, don't I? Do I have an opportunity? Guess what I would do? It's not an opportunity for me. It's an obligation. My whole family, my nana sacrificed everything for my family to have an opportunity like this. And then I want to show up here and act entitled. I want to show up here and act like I have to do this. No, I get to do this. And that's where that obligation. See, an opportunity is different, guys. If this was an opportunity for me, then, hey, you have an opportunity to go to dinner tonight, Phil, Gabby. You're like, you want to know what? I don't feel like going, right? Hey, buddy, you have an opportunity to go to Disneyland. I don't really want to go to Disneyland. There's COVID and stuff right now. Like, that's a cool opportunity, but I'm going to have to turn that opportunity down, right? Opportunity, you don't have to take it. You don't have to take the opportunity, do you? Opportunity is a chance. You don't have to do it. It's not an opportunity for me. It's an obligation. I have to do this. This is an obligation. I have to. There's no, like, I'm some rich boy that has like, oh, like, you know, like you could either come or go, you know, you don't have, no, I don't have opportunity. From where I come from, this is it. This is the, now let me ask you this. If you had an obligation to do something, if you were obligated to do it, you had to do it, you don't have a choice in the matter, right? Like, you have to be at dinner tonight. Is way different than, hey, you have an opportunity to go to dinner tonight. So that's what I look at this opportunity as, right? So when I came here, believe me, I put way more than 80 hours a week, and we'll talk about 80 hours a week. You do 80 hours a week, and you times that by 50 weeks, now you're putting 4,000 hours a year in, right? So how many years is that going to take? 2.5 years. So if you do something for 80 hours a week, 2.5 years from now, you'll be an absolute professional at it. And you can get professional results, and professional results pay you professional income, right? So that just shows you the math on behind becoming a professional. Okay. So anyways, we're talking 39 hours for the week right here, guys. 39 hours for the week between presentations and phone calls. Tons of time to get training in there. On top of that, there's training, team building. If you want to recruit and start building your team, if you want to work on personals, if you want to do more than this, you can make more phone calls. You can give more presentations. You can make more sales. The key is we should be seeing at least 10 people and enrolling at least 4 people, okay? And each client at 1,000 ALP per sale. And really, that'll put you at 4,000 ALP a week, and that'll put you at $2,000 a week in income, which is $100,000, which is professional income, and we could get you a lot faster than 2.5 years. $2,000 a week in income, that's 4,000 ALP. That's only 4 sales at 1,000 ALP a sale, which is only 10 presentations and closing at 40%. That's average. Pretty average. Guys, last week we had average ALP this year, like we've been averaging about 3,000 ALP per person, like per week. Like, people are pretty much doing about 3,000. That's what we're looking at. Last week, we averaged 3,000 a person last week. Some people hit 9,000, but we averaged 3,000 a person last week. So, I mean, that's good company to be in. Good company to be in. If you're just average, you'll be making $1,500 a week. All right, now if we go here, calls, talk to, sets, what's that looking like? Now, if you set 10, 20, we just did this. I just wrote this on the board. If you set 20, what are you going to do? You're going to what? You're going to see 10, you know, you're going to sell 4, right? And then the ALP, if it's 1,000 ALP a sell, you'll be at 4,000 for the week. If it's 800 ALP a sell, you're at 3,200 for the week. Only thing we didn't talk about on here would be referrals. And referrals can really change the game. Did Casey go over to Referral Tree? Did you go over to Referral Tree?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. That's one of the first things that I was taught when I got into this industry is my boss leader at the time took a whiteboard and basically just drew this tree. Did you guys draw the tree in your notebooks? A little bit?
Sort of, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. He's like, you know, if you have a client, right, and you take this one client, and if you can get this client to give you 5 referrals, and then you could see those 5 people, and you could get them to give you 5 referrals. You could imagine, you know, and then you get these 5 people to give you 5 referrals. And then you get these 5 people to give you 5 referrals. And he said, can you imagine the possibility all from just one client? Do you understand you can feed your family for a year if you meet the right client and you do it the right way? That's how beautiful this business is. And you don't have to wait or rely or ask somebody for a pay raise or beg or kiss somebody's butt or what. You could do whatever. You can make it how you want it. You could set it up how you want it. You don't have to, if you want to get a pay raise, if you want to increase your sales, if you want to get on a nice track, referrals are the way to do it with the least amount of resistance. So if you know statistically a referral will close at 2 out of 3. Versus the lead will close at typically 1 out of 3. So if you mix it in there, if you mix a couple referrals in, a couple leads, maybe you can get a good 40% closing ratio. And that's kind of what situation is. The average person would probably sit around a 40% closing ratio. But
What will close 1 to 3?
leads close 1 to 3. But referrals close 2 to 3. So some people are heavy on referrals and they're closing high rates, 60, 70%. Some people are horrible with referrals and they're just sitting around hoping they get some leads next week. You don't want to be the person who's always asking for leads. Hey, anybody know when we're going to get leads next? Or like, you should be like, I don't know, bro. I don't really pay attention to that. I'm so busy calling my referrals. If they gave me leads, I don't even know if I'd be able to call them. Like, that's the person who you know is making money for sure. The other person over there, I wouldn't put money in their stock. The person who got the referrals, I put money in there. I'd invest into that stock all day long. They're on an upward trend right now on the Dow Jones. So does that make sense, guys? So you want to do everything you possibly can to be the best at referrals, the absolute best. When you look at your schedule, you want half of your schedule to be coming from referrals. If it's not, then there's definitely opportunity for you to improve. So if you want to have, 30 appointments booked, you want to have 15 referrals on your schedule. If you want to have 20 appointments booked, you're probably going to have about 10 referrals booked on your schedule for the week. So anyways, I wanted to hit on the referral tree. Understand the mindset behind that. One family can change the game. They say it only takes one family to set your whole entire week up, to set your whole entire month, some families. I met a lady who on a Saturday morning who loved the program. And I showed her that she has the opportunity to sponsor her friends and family to get the same exact benefits that she got, but they don't have to be in the union. They don't have to pay any union dues, but they're going to get access to all the exclusive union benefit programs at the union at the union discounted rates. She's like, oh, wow. Well, can my cousin? I was like, yeah, you can sponsor your cousin. And we went through, I was like, let's go through your phone from A to Z. That way we don't miss anybody, okay? And we'll make sure that we get these out to the most important people to you. So what she did is she gave me the list. We got through it. Then we identified the most important people, called them first. And what we found out is that it's probably going to be easiest if they just come over her house. So for the next month and a half, every Saturday, I went to this lady's house Saturday morning, and she had a different person in her family waiting to get life insurance. This is my nephew. He just had a new son. You know, he's a single dad. Boom. Got it. This is my mom, right? This is my aunt. This is my cousin. Every Saturday, I went back to her house. And I always brought donuts because they said donuts prevent donuts. So I'm like, all right, well, if they say bring them, I'm bringing them. I don't think twice. When people tell me to do something, I'm just dumb enough to be coachable and just do it, you know? So I would show up with donuts on Saturday morning to all my appointments. And I bring donuts and a smile, you know, to everybody's house. And sometimes they'd be diabetic. They couldn't even eat the donuts. I felt bad, you know, for bringing them, you know? But anyways, it was the gesture that mattered. So I brought her donuts the first day, and I found out she don't like donuts. But I found out she likes pie. Because like, you don't like donuts? She's like, no. I was like, well, what do you like? And we found out like after going through like what she likes pie. So for the next few Saturdays when I showed up at her house, I showed up at her house. I brought donuts to my other appointments, but for her house, I brought pie. So every Saturday I showed up with like 2 different kinds of pies. Like I figured we would try like the peach pie and the apple pie today. And then next week I showed up with like the berry pie and the cherry pie, you know, so, but that one client right there, and then from those people, her brother-in-law, her cousin, like all these other people, they gave me referrals. And I didn't know anybody in the town, but that one person fed me for a month and a half, 2 months, and got me into a lot of families that I never would have met before. Be thankful for the leads. I never got a lead in my life. If I wanted to get business, guess who had to get the business? Me. I had to go get it. I had to go find it. I had to call, figure it out. Friends, family, relatives, walk through the mall, drum up conversation with this guy, go into a business, you know, go take people to lunch. I had to figure it out. So when I got the leads, man, I was able to really be appreciative, and because of that, I maximize the resource. You know, like somebody who don't do this business, they're like, you know, let's say you never experienced what I experienced. I experienced 3 years of being in 100% commission sales business with no leads. Go out there and figure it out, Tommy. Like, go figure it out. Me and Mason were watching the Animal Planet the other night, right? And the leopards, they had these leopards, and like the leopards were like 1-2 years old. And like even though he's only 1 year old, his mom is no longer going to be able to help him, and he is now on his own, and he got to go figure out how to eat, right? That's how I was. They were like, all right, go figure it out. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, go hunt, young one. I'm like I didn't know what they gave me, like nothing, no resources or anything. So I figured it out. I made it happen. But when I came here, they're like, oh my, I couldn't believe it. Like, oh my God, you got leads? You call these people to answer? And then they schedule an appointment with you. You don't have to argue with anybody? Like, this is nuts. You don't have to call them back 16 times to get an appointment booked? I couldn't believe it. So I was very appreciative of it. But if you never had to go through what I went through, you get a lead, they don't answer your call. You're like, oh, heck with this person. You throw them in a garbage can because you don't appreciate and understand what that lead's about. So the leads are typically $26 for one person's name to be generated. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen in order for that name to get generated, in order for it to be put right into your lead pack. The impact system alone cost $100,000 for us to have for this agency. So the impact system, just to manage the leads, costs $100,000. Then if I give you 100 leads and there's 26 leads in there, guess how much that costs? There's $2,600. How much did you pay for it? How much? Nothing. You didn't pay anything for it. So what you got to do is just make sure you understand that and you appreciate it, and that you do everything you can to exhaust it. And you say, you can't only call them from 5 to 9 and then think they don't ever answer. You got to call them at different times of the day. We got to try different things, with them as well. No, it'd be $2,600. $26 times 100 leads.
I thought you said 26 leads.
No, not 26 leads. I wouldn't give you 26. I'll give you more than that. Right? Yeah, but the point is, guys, we're not gonna stop that. That's always gonna happen forever and ever and ever. And we have an endless supply. There's just so many. We could go get more like that. Okay. So we're gonna continue to grow, and we will never ever run out of leads, like ever. Ever. So just so you guys know, like there's plenty of room for you to grow and for us to just keep on going. But yeah, so that's a lot on the activity side of things, man. I think the referrals are something that if you wanted to get an edge for yourself, that can be your little edge that you can get, because everybody's going to get the leads. Everybody's going to get them, right? So if you're calling him, he's going to call him. You're pretty much going to, if you max it out or you max it out, you're both going to get pretty much the same results, So if you want to get an edge on that person, you're going to have to find and pull something up your sleeve. And every single week, if you can, the referrals are going to be the thing that sets you apart. Guarantee it. The referrals are what sets the top people apart, and referrals is a great sign that you're doing a good job at your business. Like you're so darn good at your business that all of your clients are telling everybody about it, and they're telling everybody they got to go see this guy. They got to go see this girl. That's a great sign that you're just doing a good job. And it solidifies your current business. If I sell, Mary, and then Mary introduces me to her brother-in-law or her brother and her sister, when her brother-in-law and her sister or her cousin or her friend or her teammate from college, and now I got 3 of her people all into the program. So now when I call Mary, I can also talk about them. She's not going to ever cancel. Why would she cancel? She told them to get the stuff, and now she's canceling it? She can't do that. So, and what people do, like when I bought an iPhone, I wanted someone else to buy an iPhone and then tell me it worked awesome, so that I just felt like I felt good about my purchase, So like if you go sell Mary's brother, and then Mary's brother is like, oh yeah, I just met with Gabby. Thank you for sending her over. She did a great job. Mary's thinking like, I knew it. I knew I made a good decision. Yeah. And that solidifies the deal with her. She never wants to cancel. And then they're all involved. So the retention on that business is great. And the propensity to get referrals from referrals is better. So like I meet with a lead, and the way I met with the lead is through them filling out a card, right? So that's the way that they understand this to work. Like, so people fill the card out, then you come see them, right? But then I get a referral from that person, and I go see the referral. How's the referral think it works? The referral's like, oh, so Mary referred you to me. That's how you got here. Oh, so I got to refer you to somebody now too, right? So it's harder to get the referral from the lead, but a referral from a referral is a lot easier to get, and for many different reasons, it's better. It's absolutely better. So you can't just get referrals and stop. That's when you sink your teeth in, you smell blood. When you get the referral, if you get a referral, hallelujah. And then the referral booked with you, yes. And then they actually sat down and you presented to them, this is great. Then they buy from you, you have to get referrals from that referral. That is the ultimate right there. That's how you can really unlock things for yourself. Telling you guys. So that's some of that kind of stuff. On Wednesday, you guys went in with Drew. No, actually, I'm sorry. Wednesday, you had Vince, right? Vince on Wednesday. And Vince went over the beginning part of the presentation, went over rapport building and that kind of stuff. Did he go into playing the first video? Or did Drew get into that? Well, point of it is, one thing that they went over with you that they should have went over with you is explaining to the client why we are here. So let's say you had to give a presentation right now. First thing you do is you pull up the Zoom, right? They pop on and you say, hey, how you doing? Make a joke or two, get them to laugh, smile, right? Then you're going to pull up the screen. It usually says who we are. And it's like a nice little screen. It shows who we are, AM Best, great company, all that stuff. Then you'll pull it down, build some rapport with them. How long you lived in the area, your family's big family, where do you work, da, 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 da. After that, then what do? Then we have to explain to them why we are here. You guys remember that? Why we are here. Okay. And this is where you say to the client, you want to say, now, Joe, the reason that we are here today is that your president, John Smith, contracted through our company to make sure that you and all the other members have guaranteed permanent life benefits. The problem and concern that they're running into right now, your organization, the Steelworkers Local 784, plus there's over 30,000 other unions and organizations that we work and service. The problem that they're running into is that all the members of these organizations typically have group benefits. Now, Joe, when you work for a company, most companies give their employees workplace benefits, right? Well, at least most companies do. Say, yeah. I say, well, what typically happens to those benefits if you ever leave that company? Let's say you quit, get fired, or retire. What typically happens to those benefits, Joe? They go away. That's right. That's right. They go away. So, Joe, that was one of the biggest problems and concerns that they were running into. And that's why your president, John Smith, contracted through us to make sure that you and all the other members had their guaranteed permanent life benefits. So today, while I'm here, I'll make sure I go over all that information for you. And if it makes sense, we have to make sure that we get you enrolled into your permanent life benefits while we're out here today during your enrollment period. That makes sense, Joe? Okay, good, great. So the first video that they set up for you here, have you really never heard, I'll say, maybe even say something, you probably never heard of our company before. We don't do any advertising. You won't see us in a billboard or commercial anywhere out there, because our company doesn't spend, or let's say waste, any money on advertising. Now, those other companies probably see commercials, billboards, the Super Bowl is going to come on. You'll see critters crawling across the screen and all kind of different, commercials. Who do you think really pays for all those advertisements? There's billions of dollars being spent on advertisements every year. Who do you think's really paying for that? The clients, right? So our company, what they do, they take those billions of dollars that other companies waste and put it back into our programs and back into our members. So boom, when I press play and the video plays. And the introduction video plays. That gives you a chance to just chill out for a second. right? Gather your thoughts. Like, okay, where do I got to go next? As soon as the video is done playing, I'm going to have to go in and explain their accidental death and dismemberment certificate or whatever that next step is. It gives you a chance to get yourself organized, composed, and get ready because you're about to go over all the no-cost benefits next. So that makes sense how that flows? Because then Drew on Thursday went over, and just keep in mind, you have to make sure that you hit home with that, because at the end, you do not want them to tell you, I don't need this. And the reason they say that, and you say, well, why would you need it? And they say, because I already have this stuff through work. You're going to feel like, oh, what? How could you? So if you explain it to them up front, and I said to them, what happens when you quit, get fired, or retire, Joe? What happens to those benefits? And Joe goes to me, what? Well, you lose them. Wait, I didn't tell him he loses his benefits, did I? He told me he loses his benefits. Didn't he tell me? If he tells me, it's way better than me telling him. So at the end, they're not going to be giving you this, well, I don't need this because I already have stuff through work. No, we clearly went over this at the beginning, that the main reason that I'm here today is because you have stuff through work. That's why we're here. That's the problem. The stuff through work is the problem. That's why we're here. So they should never give you that rebuttal. Does that make sense? What's pretty cool. So you're almost using it like you're flipping it. So now, after that, Drew went over the no-cost benefits. He went over the no-cost. So, you know, with the no-cost benefits, it's just a great opportunity to build value, to show that you're a professional, and to show that you care. They don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. Sure, you built some rapport, which is great, and you're here to protect their family, right? How can you say you're here to protect your family? You care about protecting my family, but you never even asked me a question about my family, right? That's not adding up. So you got to make sure you build rapport. Make sure you ask them some questions about their family. If you meet with a grandparent, number one grandparent rule is what? If they're a grandparent, that means they have what? Grandkids. Number one rule is what? Oh, you got any pictures? Do you have any pictures of the little guy? And of course they got pictures, right? Oh, could I see? And then make them get up. If you're on the Zoom, make them go get it. If I'm in their house, they get up. They'll go get it, or they'll have them on their mantle. I'll get up and I'll walk around their house with them. Like, oh, so this is the little one? He ain't even that little. He's big, 3 years old. Holy cow, man. You got to be proud of him. You know, whatever. And what you do, you got to think how proud a grandparent is of their grandkids. It's the joy of the world for them, man. Nothing makes their heart sing more than those grandkids, man. So if you can string a chord like that, and they can see it in your eyes, and they can hear it in your voice, that like you're actually feeling empathetic with them, you feel it, you know, and they can tell, that makes a big difference for these grandparents. So I'm telling you, there's two rules. You have to say, can I see a picture? And as soon as they say a picture, you got like, oh my gosh, how cute is that? What an adorable picture. Where were you guys at when you took that thing? That got to just warm your heart, Sally. You know, so you got to make sure that you have that empathy for them. And empathy, guys, is feeling the way that they feel. Like I had a guy that they called him Animal. And when he answered the door, he is pretty much what you would picture to be who Animal would be. He was a laborer. He lived on a trailer, and his parents had like 50 acres or 100 acres. So he had a trailer, his brother had a trailer, you know, and his parents had a house all the way in the back. So I show up at his place, and he answers the door with a wife beater on, okay? This is 3 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. I show up in my Chrysler 300 SRT8, blacked out, like I'm wearing a 3-piece suit, but I had just a vest on, okay? And I show up to this guy. So like, how you doing? He has tattoos all over him. He's huge. He's probably 6'4", 300 some pounds, just a monster. And tattoos all over him, big beard, long hair. And he answers the door, and you know, I forget what his name was. His name was Michael or something, you know, and I ended up sitting down and meeting with this guy, but his nickname is Animal, and he literally is a laborer. And earlier in the day, he was running a jackhammer all day. I mean, that's who I was meeting. The guy, the big 300-pound guy on the side of the road with tattoos, you know, saying like, and he ran the jackhammer. That's who I met with. So, but he was such a nice guy. He was so proud because his son did karate competitions, and his son jumped up in the air, did like a karate kick, like a straight out of a movie. It was like picture perfect. He had a picture of it, and and the dad was holding the board, and the son was breaking the board, and he had a picture of it and the son's trophy. But he was telling me about it, and I could see how proud he was. And I was like, "Do you have do you have a picture of this or something?" He's like, "I do." I'm like, "Oh, we got to see it." So then he takes me into the room, shows me the trophy, and he shows me the picture, and I could literally just see the joy pouring out of this man's heart, you know, about his son, you know, and the connection, like how, and I'm thinking like, how cool is it that the dad got to hold that and somebody got that moment captured in a picture, you know what I mean? Like and he could see that I felt the way he felt, and he knew it. And that was our instant connection right there. You know what I mean? That's empathy. That's something you can't almost teach. You can teach it to a certain degree, but you got to understand it to a deep level of really what you're connecting on. And it's like you can't even almost say words. Like you can say words to show you're empathetic, because you know what empathy is, guys? Empathy is I feel the way you feel. You know, I feel you. Like, so you can literally say that. You can say, I can understand how you feel. Or you can say, I feel you. I feel you, bro. Like when you say that kind of stuff, that means what? That means you're like, if they feel pain, you feel that pain, man. If they feel joy, you feel that joy. If you feel pride, you feel that pride. If they're worried, you feel their anxiety. You know, that's empathy. Now, there's other two things. There's called apathy. Apathy means what? You don't feel nothing at all. Apathy, I don't feel nothing. I'm apathetic towards it. I have no feelings. Apathy. Sympathy means you feel what? You feel bad for somebody. You know, you have sympathy for somebody means you feel bad for them. When you have empathy, you feel the way they feel. So the thing that most top salespeople have is empathy. Empathy. The ability to not only feel the way the clients feel, but to communicate that as well. Because Mason could be sitting here telling me about a situation he's really proud about or he's really sad about, right? And I'm sitting here thinking like, man, I can feel the way he feels, man. I feel him, right? But I never communicate that to him. I never communicated to him, right? Or I don't communicate it properly to him, then it does no justice. So the key is you have to feel the way they feel, and you have to communicate that to them and let them know. Like almost reach across the table, grab them on their arm and say, hey, man, I feel you, dude. I can definitely understand where you're coming from. You know, that's that connection, right? Key to that, and it's hard for us to do, but when I walk into somebody's home, I would always say, so Mary, would you like me to take my shoes off or should I keep them on? What would you prefer? My mom would kill me if I just stomped through your house. And she would, oh, you could keep them on. But I wasn't even talking to Mary, guys. I was talking to myself. It was a personal reminder, Tommy, that it's a metaphorical thing. Right now, it's time for you to take your shoes off and put their shoes on. What is it like to walk a mile in their shoes? And when you put their shoes on, metaphorically, I'm not putting a guy's work boots on, you know, walking in his house. I'm not putting her stilettos on either. But you see what it's like to walk a mile in their shoes, and you visualize like, what's it like to come into a house like this, to wear those shoes, to go to that work, to drive that car, to eat dinner at this table, you know, blah, 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 blah. You're able to relate to them a lot more. It's harder to do that on Zoom. So we have to be better at relating to people and putting ourselves in their shoes and painting a picture of what it's like to be them, you know? So that's the advantage of going to the homes, but there's a lot of disadvantages to it as well. So anyways, guys, we could break for today. That was everything I wanted to cover with you. Great job on this week. You guys are doing great. You're doing phenomenal. Keep it up. By the end of next week, it'll all start making sense even more. Some stuff might not even make any sense right now, guys. Just keep with it. I promise, when you're saying your ABCs, we got to get all the way to Z before it makes sense. So right now you might only be halfway through the alphabet or something, but we'll help you connect the dots. And I think, by the end of next week, we'll be going into the 1st of February, right? By February 1st, you're going to feel pretty good with your presentation if you keep doing the reps. Then if you're able to get released get out on your own on your 1st, or maybe you can get out on your own on 8th, the 1st or the 8th, maybe mid-February, you're comfortable to do this on your own. Okay, we don't want to just send everybody out there who's not prepared. That could end up to get complaints from groups, and we could lose a whole organization because we had somebody call the steel workers, and now we got a complaint from the steel workers, and now they don't want to work with us. There was 5,000 people that we were servicing. So believe me, we're not here to just say, all right, hey man, your training is up. Good luck, man. Good luck. No, we can't afford to do that, and we won't do that. So we have to make sure that we're trained properly. Make sure that you guys go through the training checklist and you have everything checked off before you're able to get out there. So even if it's, first, second week of February, when you're able to get out there really and do it comfortably enough, keep in mind, now we're going to still have to do 100 presentations, right? So, you're going to be looking at probably March, April, or May as your first 3 key months of your career, up until then. But great job so far this week. Like I said, proud of you guys, and have a good weekend. Definitely use the time over the weekend. Watch your foot on there to practice up. And if I could give you one reminder, you're going to get to the end of a presentation, guys. I promise you, when you say these words, it works. And what happens is the client's going to say yes. Okay. I promise you. And when they say yes, you're going to have to fill out an application. So practice these applications. If you have not practiced 2 applications a day this week, you are behind. You're like 8 presentations behind right now. So make them up over this weekend or something, but stick to 2 application e-apps a day. Make sure you fill those out. All right. Good job, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday.
Man.
That's it, guys. Oh, did somebody leave?
I don't know.
Might have been Jorge. Yep.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, man.
Good stuff.
Some more good stuff.
Yes, sir. We got a training tomorrow, Edgar?
No weekends.
No weekend.
No weekend.
Come back on Monday for training.
Oh, we're probably not going to be in the office this weekend either while people get better, right?
Yeah, we'll let you guys know what's going on.
All right, my man.
So nobody's in the office right now, right?
We got like just 2. That's about it.
All right.
Well, it's pretty much me and Gio.
For sure. All right, boys. I'll probably see you guys on Monday if we're not going to see each other tomorrow for the training.
Yeah, for sure, man. Stay safe.
Hey, you guys have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Y'all take care.
Guys, stay safe, man.